Good afternoon, everybody. A topic that we've been hearing a ton about, and that is fatigue. Today, I am really excited to really jump into. So we're going to give everybody just a minute to hop on. And again, today is about fatigue. I'm Dr. Melissa McCrae from Vitality Natural Wellness and Med Spa. We have offices in Mansfield and Powell. Today, this week, we're focusing on fatigue. Fatigue, what does that actually mean to you? Well, do you feel overtired? Do you feel like there's low energy? Or even this strong desire to just rest? And does it interfere with your life? Those are typically components that we look for fatigue. Have the last 2 years led to this level of ongoing fatigue you're finding hard to shake? Have you ever been told, just get some more sleep, eat right, exercise, and that will definitely get rid of this nagging feeling of tiredness? If you've ever heard any of those things, or if you've ever felt any of those symptoms or debilitating need to rest, then this is the talk for you. So this is a discussion. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them. We'll do those at the end, and we can really wrap things up then. So let's dig into fatigue. Firstly, I want you all to think of fatigue differently than maybe you have in the past. I want you to think of fatigue as a symptom. It's a sign that things are just not working the way they should inside your body. So at Vitality, our goal is always to determine the underlying cause of your fatigue and then work through a solution and a plan that's just right for you. If you don't find the cause, you're going to continue to have these rebounds of fatigue that can continue to be debilitating. They'll interfere with your quality of life and your ability to function and enjoy each moment for what it brings to you. What are some common causes of fatigue? Some common thoughts are lack of sleep. For sure. High stress levels. I think everybody would agree to that. Maybe too much exercise or prolonged exertion, like the patient we had the other day who is working 7 days a week right now on overtime and just exhausted. Maybe it's a thyroid issue. But what else could be playing a role in fatigue? How about post-COVID fatigue? What about abnormal hormone levels? Everything from your sex hormones like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, thyroid, vitamin D, and nutrient deficiencies. We see these so frequently. If your body doesn't get what it needs to function, it will not function. So nutrient. It can be really challenging to narrow down exactly what's causing somebody's fatigue if you don't spend time with them to really hear what's going on. There are so many causes of fatigue. I could talk for hours on how abnormal hormone levels cause fatigue, or how digestion and gut health problems lead to nutrient deficiencies. We could talk about stomach acid, neurotransmitter production, amino acids, B12, thyroid problems. I could focus on a lot of things for fatigue, but today I'm going to really drill down and cover something that's hitting hard right now in the causes of fatigue. Today, I want to specifically talk about post-COVID fatigue. Now, many factors play into this, but we're going to talk about this one biggie. You need to know where we start. And so first, I'm going to tell you about the powerhouse that drives every cell, the mitochondria. So we're going to talk about post-COVID fatigue, but you need to know specifically about the mitochondria. The mitochondria is truly the power plant of every single cell. It creates all of the energy that runs every single cellular process in your body. So what do we believe happens in COVID? The mitochondria is attacked, and the result, mitochondrial dysfunction. So we're taking it way down to cellular biology here. Every single little cell, a little tiny thing inside kind of the mitochondria, which generates all of the energy that cell needs to function. So now we're into mitochondrial dysfunction. We think that COVID attacks the mitochondria, which is the power plant of your cell. When you think about that in perspective, let's talk about those cells, right? Every cell in our body. Some cells have one mitochondria, so one power plant. Other cells, like the liver cell, have over 2,000 mitochondria per cell. When you think of 37 trillion cells in your body, that's a lot of mitochondria. So to get a better idea about all of this function, I'm going to ask you to do something. So I want you to take a nice deep breath. I want you to exhale out the tension of the day and join me for a little childlike thinking. So, I love cars, especially fast cars. Now, I often think of your body like this finely tuned sports car with an amazingly powerful engine. So let's say it's like a smoking fast V10, one of those new Corvette kind of cars out there. What does your supercharged car look like? What color is this dream car of yours? Do you have a stick shift, or is your sports car automatic? Importantly, how quickly does it respond when you push on the gas pedal? In this car, that's your sports car body, the engine is what makes or breaks this car, right? If it's not tuned up or has bad gas in it, maybe no maintenance, or maybe there was some kind of like damage done to it that doesn't get repaired. Seems like right now, like chipmunks are a fear. What if they get inside there and just start chewing on the tubing? How does your car work if maintenance isn't done, or bad gas is put into it, or some kind of damage has been done to the engine? How does your car work now? It may look super cool, but when it doesn't function right, well, what does that do to the value of your super cool sports car? See, the mitochondria is the engine of every cell in your body. It's the cellular power plant. The mitochondria generates all of the energy for every single cell to do its job. The mitochondria allows your body to, think of this list, all the things that the mitochondria is important for. Make proteins, make hormones, make chemicals like mood hormones. The mitochondria helps your body detoxify, so getting rid of things that shouldn't be there. The mitochondria can either turn on inflammation or turn off inflammation. The mitochondria is also what is crucial if you're trying to make new cells or to replace old cells in your body. All of those things are crucial, and you can thank the mitochondria when it's functioning properly to take care of all of that. So let's get back to COVID. Many people believe, scientists, physicians, providers who deal with COVID every day, many of us believe that post-COVID fatigue happens when the mitochondria are damaged and they don't work properly. Can you see how that can lead to an extreme form of fatigue? Damaging the part of the cell that is solely responsible for all cellular energy that runs every reaction in your body. I think that hits pretty hard. So keep in mind that the causes of fatigue are oftentimes multifactorial, right? So fatigue can be from the stressors of life combined with less time for sleep, and even on top of that, a recent bout of COVID. So we want to keep in mind, what is your situation? What is your story? Where have you come from? What is your body telling us? And we have to keep in mind the damage that can oftentimes be done in the background. Have you had fatigue that you can't shake? Do you feel like continuing to function like you are right now is getting more challenging over time, or do you feel like you're actually improving with your energy? Have you tried everything you know to do? It just isn't working? The key is, who will help you figure it out, and what can you do about it? That's the big question. So I'm going to tell you about a patient named Sarah. She's a 45-year-old, and she came in to see us with severe brain fog. So brain fog and fatigue, those two things. Felt like she absolutely just couldn't think anymore. She couldn't remember anything. Concentration was gone, and just so exhausted. This had been ongoing for several months, and it seemed to start very quickly. She just remembers like this 3-week time frame where she started feeling really badly and just couldn't shake it. She did have COVID about 4 weeks prior to starting really fatigued and foggy. Her biggest concerns were she has wonderful family, several kids, and found it almost impossible to even keep up with them, let alone their schedules and the summer and even wanting to play. She had some issues with, she was now unable to fall asleep at night and had really broken sleep. But then she also wasn't able to get out of bed in the morning because she was so tired. She noted that her joints and muscles were sore like never before, and her libido was gone. Most of all, the level of fatigue was really just debilitating for her. She had seen her primary care physician as well as a sleep specialist and even an infectious disease specialist. The conclusion that they came to at the time was she needed to make more time for sleep, and they recommended putting her on an antidepressant. So she came to us incredibly frustrated. She said, I'm not depressed. If I am depressed, it's because I'm so tired and I just can't think and I hurt and I don't feel well. So we were really looking forward to digging in. So we did a blood panel. This is typically way more comprehensive than you would typically get because we look at things that people don't often look at. So we did a blood panel on her and we found multiple areas that we needed to focus. We definitely targeted her inflammation with some peptides, nutrient support. We also made some dietary changes that were very specific to her history, her exam, and her lab work. There were several focused tests that we did, some specialized testing that we followed up with, also, again, relative to her very specific case. After some of these changes, I was just really excited to follow up with her and see how she was doing. So she returned for a follow-up visit and honestly had made some amazing progress in what I would consider a short period of time. But she wasn't feeling 100% yet. And she even said, I'm not 100% yet, but she could not believe how much better she felt. Her husband actually told her, I don't know what they have you doing, but whatever it is, I want you to keep doing it. He was so happy to see her feeling better, and clearly so was she. So if you feel tired all the time and it's affecting your quality of life, speak to a functional medicine provider. They will ask you questions to figure out why you're feeling this way and also help you with suggestions on how to help you long term. Every individual has a different source of fatigue. A tailored plan for healing will absolutely jumpstart your wellness journey. You're not the average person, so why should your healthcare be? Thirdly, eating well, getting rest, and reducing stress are very important. But always pay attention to your body if it's telling you there's more to the story. So if you feel you need more in-depth management of fatigue, contact our office. We will connect you for a discovery call, and from there we can design a program that is very specific to your needs. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them on the chat. I hope that this has been a little bit helpful understanding how post-COVID fatigue, one of the facets of how that might be working in our bodies, and knowing that we at Vitality take care of many of these cases and get to see some incredible turnarounds. So if you have any questions, go ahead and you can post them now. And otherwise, I will look forward to seeing you all next Thursday.